there, YouTube? I'm back again today for another game review. And today I'm very excited to check out Sequence Dice, an exciting game of strategy from ages 7 to adults, 2 to 4 players. And in Sequence Dice, you are going to be chucking dice, and you are going to be placing these tokens onto a board, trying to connect 5 in a row. It is a spin-off of the immensely popular Sequence game, but with dice. Does it work, though? Let's open it up, and I'll tell you what I think. Before we do that, I want to give a big shout-out to VGuard, who has the Kickstarter campaign, Play Family-Friendly and Fun Math with Simply Clever Cards from Simplicitous Games. Join their Facebook group to learn more. Search Simply Clever Cards. They helped send us to Europe and Indianapolis last year to talk all about games, so give them some love. But let's open this up and tell you if I give this game some love. Alright then, we're going to take a look at what's going to get inside of Sequence Dice. So, first and foremost, we've got a handy-dandy rule sheet. It is just this page. It's a big wall of text, but it should have you up and running in no time at all. Very smooth, clean instructions, so thumbs up on it, despite the fact you obviously would like a double side and some pictures and whatnot. But hey, whatever. So in Sequence Dice, this is a very simple game where you're going to try to get 6 in a row or 5 in a row. So if you're playing a 3-player game, you're trying to get 5 in a row. If you're playing a 2 or 4-player game, you're going to try to get 6 of your colored poker chips in a row. You're going to do that by rolling these 2 dice right here. And the easiest way to show you this game is actually just to play this game. So we're going to pretend like we got a 2-player version of the game going on. We got green chips, we got blue chips, got the red chips over here in the bag, but they are just red chips. So on your turn, what you're going to do is you're going to roll the dice, and then you're going to place your colored chip on that number. So 6 plus 2, I got 8. So I could go either here, 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 or here. And we'll just say I'm going to go right there. Next turn, blue guy's going to go. He's got another 8. So he only has 3 choices this time. He can't go here because I'm already here. So you know what? He might go right here. Stay away from me. So green guy goes again. He's got himself a 7. Once again, rinse, wash, repeat. He'll probably put it right there. I've got an 11, which is how we get into one of the fancy numbers. So an 11, as you can see down here, is a wild, which means I can put that absolutely anywhere on the board. So you know what? I will probably put it... hey, let's say I go crazy and go right there. No, let's go right here. So I'm going to go right there because I've successfully blocked my opponent, and I still have the potential to get 6 in a row. Now, the other special ones you can roll are a 12 and a 2. If you ever roll a 12 and a 2, you get to go to one of the spots, assuming they're not all filled, and also you get to take another turn, which can be very big. But 12 and 2 obviously don't come up too terribly often. So we got 12 and 2, which are special, 11s, which are wilds, and then 10s, which allow you to remove a chip from the game. So let's just say that the green rolled a 10, which so 6 plus 4 is 10. They would probably go right here, and they would remove that. But anywho, in a 2 and 4 player version of the game, you're trying to get 6 chips in a row. You can get them diagonal as well, or orthogonal. In a 3-player version of the game, you're only trying to get 5 in a row because the board is going to be much more crowded. Anywho, once someone is able to do that successfully, they will immediately win the game. Now let's talk about 3-player version of the game. You're just going to have 3 people doing the chips. 2-player version of the game, you're going to have 2 people doing the chips. But in a 4-player version of the game, you're going to have a partner, and you will be taking turns. The way I like to play it is you can't actually communicate what you should or shouldn't do on your turn. You have to just try and figure out what your partner is doing. But that, in a nutshell, is what you're going to do inside of Sequence Dice. Alright then, Sequence Dice from Jack's Limited. What are my final thoughts? Let's go with the pros, let's go with the cons. First, on the con side, 2 to 4 players are somewhat of a restricted player count. Also, if you're playing at 4 players, you are playing a team version of the game. I actually kind of like the team version of this game, but you do need to know that there's only 3 sets of chips, so you're only going to be able to play 3 players without having a team mate. Also, the 3-player version of the game, the board gets really full really fast, and that can drag out the game a little bit. So I would say that was my least favorite version of the game, even though I still did like it at 3 players. So take that with a grain of salt. Another con that I have with this game is that the game can come to a grinding, screeching halt where it's just who's going to be the first person to roll a 10 or an 11. Who's going to be able to roll that? Or a 2 or a 12. Once you get to a certain point on the board where everything's filled up, it's just like roll the dice, roll the dice, roll the dice, roll the dice, roll the dice. Yes, I finally got one, so I got to take something off. And that's probably my least favorite aspect of this game, is that it eventually will come to a slow and grinding halt, assuming you get to that point. Another comment of this game is While it says on the box, an exciting game of strategy, there's not really that much strategy to the game. It's, hey, connect 5, and most of the time where you're going to want to go is generally pretty obvious. Also, there's a lot of luck in this game because obviously you're rolling the dice every single time on your turn and just going to where the dice dictate. Now, there might be numerous different spots for you to choose, but most of the time you're going to have one or two choices, and it will be pretty obvious which choice you should make. Any other cons that I have with the game? No, moving on to the pros, I really enjoyed Sequence Dice. And I came into this, I played Sequence maybe once or twice in my life when I was much, much younger. And so going over to Sequence Dice, I really enjoyed Sequence Dice. The kids in my class really enjoyed Sequence Dice. And this is one that is going to be a permanent fixture in my class. There's a couple different reasons why. First, it's light, it's simple, easy to learn, easy to teach. I actually like the team mode of the game as well, but only if you're not communicating at all, because that's kind of fun, because then you have to try and figure out what your teammate is doing. I also think I'd like the team version of the game only with children, though, not so much with adults. With adults, it's pretty obvious what everyone's going to try and do, and at that point, it's just like, I just wish there were 4 sets of chips, but 4 sets of chips would massively clog up the board. I also like the components. The board's nice. The poker chips are fine. The dice are perfectly serviceable. I like the special ones where you get 10, 11, or 12, or 2, and you get to do some special different things. And I like how they have it around the outside of the board, what you get to do. So I do enjoy that aspect of the game. And it's just a light, simple, fun game. That's pretty much all I can say about the game. There's not too much strategy, but there's just enough strategy to keep me coming back to the game. And I think it's a fantastic game to play with children. Is this one I'm ever going to play with adults? No, probably not. There's a lot of other games I would rather play with them, which is why I'm dinging this down a point or two. But if you have young kids, especially I'd say 6, 7, 8, where they're still working on addition, I think this is a great game to play with them. It's got a little bit of strategy. It's got a little bit of addition. You know, it's going to help them learn that simple math, you know, the 1 plus 4, 5 plus 3. It's going to help build the memory muscle of the addition. I do like that. And as a teacher, I think this is a must-have if you're a kindergarten or first grade, or sometimes with the kids who are behind, even second grade teacher. And I'm going to be keeping it in my classroom for that reason. I'm going to be playing this with my son for that reason. My son did enjoy the game. It was just a little bit above him, you know, because he did have to worry about the strategy of the Connect 5 and the addition. But I think ages 6+ are really going to dig this game. So that is Sequence Dice. I think it's a great family game. I think it's a great children's game because children can play this by themselves. I'd say from ages 7+. As an adult game, not so much. Maybe a gateway game with non-gamers or if you're into extremely light games. But Sequence Dice, one that I can pleasantly recommend to you. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know the original Sequence. Do you have any experience with it? For me personally, I think I played it at like a youth retreat when I was much, much younger. I want to go back and revisit it with how much I actually enjoyed this one. I'm really excited to go back and see if I like the original Sequence as well. And there's like 6 different other versions of Sequence too. So definitely going to have to check out those eventually as I see them at the thrift store as well. That's it. I guess we're done here. Carry on.